the Stork due to visit the club sometime soon with Shaun Higgins, Brad. When do you think you'll know whether he's playing this weekend or not?
Well, a lot depends on how things unfold over the next few days. But I mean, Shaun's been, we've known about this obviously for a fairly long time, and it's probably been the last couple of weeks that we've really locked in contingency plans either way. But I think it's a case by case basis, and to me, it's firmly up to the player what he feels most comfortable doing, and Shaun's really clear that if it's, if he misses the game to be at the berth, and if that's what has to happen, then that's what he wants to do. So we fully support him in that.
Available for parenting tips down the track as well, Brad?
Yeah. Really support your wife as best you can, because whether you're a coach or a player, we're a long time away from the ups and downs of parenthood, and I'm glad I didn't have kids when I was playing, because much easier to coach when you have sleepless nights than play.
Luke McDonald got, I think, hamstring soreness. Looks as though he's out on the track. Confident that he'll be right to play? Yeah,
confident if he gets through this session. I mean, he's got to do enough to show us that he's right. I mean, he's had all the tests and scans, and they're all clear. So that's really reassuring. But he's still got to be able to function clinically. So if he gets through training, he'll be right.
Right, it's fair to say you've surprised a few people this season. Are you surprised?
I didn't have a really strong view either way, because the competition's so tight, and we're still, we've been pleased with some aspects of our game, but we're still, there's still some things that we're working really hard on that have continued from the pre-season, and the competition just fluctuates, and we've been on both sides of it this year, where we've been a little bit off and we've been beaten, and potentially the opposition a little bit off, and we've been able to capitalise. So that's going to be the story, I suggest, for the rest of the year for us. That we're going okay, but by no stretch are we getting ahead of ourselves.
Where would you like to see those improvements?
Oh, we'd just like to see all facets of the game, all phases. I mean, there have been times where we've attacked well, times when we've defended well. We'd like to continue to put it together, but that's what a coach wants. He wants consistency in all phases of the game around the contest, attack and defence. But obviously you don't get that all the time, and you look at when the best teams play each other, the game fluctuates a little bit, quarter to quarter. So, we've got to be able to ride momentum waves when it's going our way, and be able to stop it when it's going against us.
You would have had a good look at Hawthorn in recent weeks. I wouldn't expect to tell what their weaknesses are, but what do you have to do really well against a team like that?
I just think that, again, it sounds pretty simple, but the reality is that they've been a terrific contested and clearance side this year. Mitchell's obviously a big part of that, McAvoy and O'Meara, but they're building some depth through their midfield, and they've got a really solid defence. And I think if you look at their forward half, Puopolo and Rioli would hurt anyone, but they've still got Luke Bruce in his All-Australian form. He's been in great touch, and Jarman Impey's been a great inclusion. So they've got a lot of quality across all lines. Even though they're weakened in their forward half this week, they're still pretty formidable up there.
Sorry, just one other thing. You've got a really good run with play. Is Mitchell the obvious target, or other options?
Yeah, we got to weigh it up. I mean, someone who just his weight of numbers and his influence, even though he was tagged last week, he was still really influential around the clearances, and that's certainly a part of the game that Hawthorn have been influential in. So we've got to make sure that we get best bang for our buck there. And one of the things that we've worked on this year is flexibility with that particular role. It's not as simple as saying, okay, let's play on one player and then we'll stick with it no matter what. We'll have a lot of different plans depending on how the game's going.
There's been a bit of talk about you guys rebuilding in reverse, so focusing more on attack. Focusing on attack last year and now to defence this year. Is that intentional?
I can see that probably numbers this early on are suggesting that, but all I'd say in response to that is that it's a very small sample size at the moment, and we put a really strong focus on all phases of the game, and sometimes we do one part well and another part poorly. So it's not, it's not as simple as isolating one component of the game and forgetting about the other. We're trying to do it all well.
Sam Wright ready for a return?
He's close. Yeah, he's a couple of games back in the VFL now, and you know, to me last week looked like he was getting back to his best. So he's certainly a consideration for this week. You know, particularly with Hawthorn's power in their forward half. But we'll just have to, again, you know, see how he trains. I'm really keen that when he comes back in, he stays in. So we've got to make sure we get his return to play right.
Paul Ahern returned in the VFL on the weekend. How excited are you to see him in the senior side eventually?
Yeah, Paul was really good. Probably his best game so far in his comeback. And you know, I think just getting back to playing footy after 2 years out was the number one goal, and now he's achieved that. Now we're going to be pretty patient with him, but if he keeps playing like he did on the weekend, he'll push for senior selection sooner rather than later.
Mason Wood and Nathan Rovac, some injuries, concerns. Can you give us an update on both of those guys?
We'll test them both. Certainly won't rule them out at this point. They'll both train. Talking to both of them, they feel confident, and the doctors are certainly not saying that medically they're unfit. So it'll be purely a matter of how they train, and you know, with hand and finger injuries, it's basically can they handle the ball, and if the medical clearance is there, it's can they tolerate the pain and handle the ball.